they hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, family? It's your boy, Hot Boxing Minute, back at you with that uncut realness. Before I even begin this video, you already know the deal. Hit that like button. It's good for the algorithm. It helps the numbers. Press follow if you are not already doing so. It helps me get my numbers up. If I could make more money off this thing, I would put more into the production value. I want to get a green screen. I think a green screen would be pretty damn cool. Anyways, we got the big fight card going on this weekend, a couple of them. But I'm going to talk about on this particular video, the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson card and the fights that occurred this past weekend involving, of course, Bam Rodriguez, Ennis, and Keyshawn Davis. And I know a lot of people, got this thing about Jake Paul and they want to boo Jake Paul, but I'm going to talk about this fight because it's bigger than just hardcore boxing snobs like myself. It's no secret that a lot of people don't like Jake Paul and what they think he is relative to boxing. Listen, folks, before I even begin to talk about this crazy card going on out there in Texas this weekend involving Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Actually, I don't even know if it's considered this weekend because it's going on Friday, but I'm getting the sniffles again too, by the way, so bear with me, y'all. Jake Paul and Logan Paul have inspired a whole new generation of boxing fans and have even gotten people to participate in the sport. So before you criticize Jake Paul, listen to me, y'all. Follow me. Let me land this plane. If you have not brought people into the sport of boxing, if you have not gotten people to get into the gym to compete on the amateur level, shoot, who knows, maybe some even as pros at this point in the game, then can you really knock what Jake Paul has done so far in the sport of boxing? I have actually met people at amateur boxing events. I've seen people in my own gym that I train at, folks, that are actually boxing fans because they grew up watching Jake and Logan Paul on YouTube, and that's just the reality of the situation. Like, these kids grew up on social media, they were inspired by Jake and Logan Paul, and there are quite a few that are actually boxing, not just fans of the sport. That's not even including the people who became fans of boxing because of seeing what Jake Paul and Logan Paul and the antics that they were pulling off, but they've actually become participants in the sport.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that why you are here?
Hey, I can't knock anybody that's bringing new fans into the sport of boxing, so I ask y'all to at least try to look it through a lens of understanding that Jake Paul is good for boxing. Actually, that remains to be seen. I guess we won't know. I guess there's that old saying that all attention is good attention. He's got the fight. It's going to be on the Netflix platform. There's like 283 million subscribers to Netflix. We're not talking DAZN here. We're not talking Showtime. We're talking Netflix. That's how big this event is. At AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. The capacity of that stadium is something like 80,000 people. Now, according to the reports, they had 120,000 pre-sale tickets that were pre-ordered or people signed up. I'm still seeing apparently empty seats available online. Some of the nosebleeds are going for like $40. The people I know have spent hundreds on it. People that grew up watching Mike Tyson that now have kids, and their kids want to see Jake Paul in the ring against Mike Tyson. It's wild. We're in this world where Mike Tyson, the legend, the knockout monster, the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion of the world in boxing at 20 years old, or was he 19? I think he was 20. I know he took Muhammad Ali's place as the youngest undisputed heavyweight champion in boxing. This was like 19 in the late 80s or something. Oh my gosh. Anyways, Mike Tyson is like 58 years old. The last time we saw Mike Tyson in the ring professionally was in 2005 against Kevin McBride. For those of you who don't remember, Kevin McBride was this journeyman from Ireland. He was like 30 years old or something like that. Mike Tyson was, or he was 32 or something. Mike Tyson was 38. Mike Tyson was up on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards at the end of the 6th round. And in the 7th round, Mike Tyson didn't even want to fight no more. He lost by disqualification. They called it a TKO, I guess, because Mike Tyson didn't want to fight anymore. And there was that infamous post-fight interview he had with Jim Gray in the corner after that loss to Kevin McBride in 2005, which was like 20 years ago or 19 years ago now. He said that I didn't want to disrespect the sport I love so much, and I don't have it in me anymore. This was Mike Tyson's words. The man who will probably live on far longer, or at least the reputation. Mike Tyson's reputation of what he was in the ring and his carnage and his ability to inflict damage on people will exist long after damn near any of these fighters. Mike Tyson's name is synonymous with carnage in the ring. And Jake Paul sure is not. Jake Paul is synonymous with social media and YouTube and the Japanese suicide forest. Jake Paul is 10-1 with 7 KOs. Mike Tyson is 50-6 with 44 KOs. The last time we saw Mike Tyson in the ring was, what year was that? 2022? 2021 when he fought Roy Jones in that exhibition fight, which the fight itself was kind of entertaining as far as I'm concerned. Him and Roy, he looked really good against Roy Jones Jr. He's going to be fighting 8 2-minute rounds in 14-ounce gloves, and I believe it is an exhibition. I would hope this is scripted. The one thing I don't want to see is Mike Tyson get hurt. And either way, there's definitely, regardless of what the outcome of this fight is going to be, a lot of people think that this fight...
Man, this is some bullshit!
And justifiably so. Justifiably so. I can understand if y'all are mad at this. I'm going to watch it because I'm a junkie for the sport of boxing, and I'll watch anything. If there's boxing on a Friday night and it involves Iron Mike Tyson, I'm going to watch. I'm going to let y'all know right now, I am a boxing lifer, and I've been watching this sport for as long as I can remember ever watching sports. And Mike Tyson was the one that got me into boxing, so you're damn right. I'm going to watch this sport. Jake Paul, I mean, the last time he was in the ring, it was against Mike Perry. Ew. Before that, Ryan Borland, he got a knockout against Andre August, who apparently was like a Golden Gloves. So he had some experience, some amateur pedigree. He knocked him out. I remember that was the fight card because I was in Arizona. I believe it was the Bam Rodriguez-Sonny Edwards fight was on the same night. And I remember Chukhadzhian Green ended up losing a fight to the heavy-hitting diva. And I'm not sure why I'm forgetting her name. Oh, my Lord. I know her as the heavy-hitting diva. The name escapes me right now. She's a total sweetheart. But Chukhadzhian Green is going to be on this card tonight, too. She's fighting... Watpool, I believe that's her last name, a tough girl from Canada. But yeah, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, look, here's how it's going to go down. If Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, yay for boxing. If Mike Tyson knocks out Jake Paul, boxing purists everywhere are going to celebrate.
I just want to celebrate.
Now, on the other hand, what happens if Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson?
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
Ooh. Does Jake Paul continue boxing if Mike Tyson knocks him out? Let me know in the comment section what you think happens. Does that destroy his brand, or does Jake Paul, the spectacle that is him inside the boxing ring, keep going? I don't know. I don't know what the future is. I'll tell you what, though. If Jake Paul hurts that man Mike Tyson, he becomes public enemy #1 in boxing. He will elevate and catapult his status because let me tell you about the sport of boxing. Let me tell you about entertainment. Getting people emotionally riled up, being polarizing, which means not positive or negative. It does mean actually positive or negative. People are going to love you or they're going to hate you. They're not going to be indifferent. That's what polarizing means. Floyd Mayweather was polarizing. Floyd Mayweather became the largest attraction boxing had ever seen because everybody wanted to see Floyd Mayweather lose. Now, if Jake Paul hurts the OG, Brownsville's finest, Mike Tyson, Kid Dynamite, if he knocks out Mike Tyson, he becomes public enemy #1. And Jake Paul's celebrity status within the sport of boxing will explode to the stratosphere. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's what's going to happen if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson. And I promise you this, if Jake Paul defeats Mike Tyson, you can bet your bottom dollar that Jake Paul is going to be Canelo Alvarez retirement fight. Jake Paul, if he beats Mike Tyson, will become the new Conor McGregor for Canelo Alvarez. And when Canelo Alvarez, before he rides off into retirement and ends his career, he will fight Jake Paul. And the premise of that whole event is going to be Canelo Alvarez getting that lick back for Iron Mike Tyson. The same way that Iron Mike Tyson got that lick back against Larry Holmes many, many moons ago for his idol, Muhammad Ali. For those of you who don't know, Larry Holmes was villainized after beating on Muhammad Ali, who had no reason to be in that ring when they fought. But Larry Holmes beat on Muhammad Ali, and that kind of permanently damaged his public relationship, or his relationship with the public. The public hated Larry Holmes for hurting Muhammad Ali. Fast forward to Larry Holmes' career, Mike Tyson fought Larry Holmes and beat him from pillar to post. And, Mike Tyson, before that fight, Muhammad Ali whispered in his ear, "Get him back for me." So if Jake Paul knocks out Mike Tyson, you can bet we're going to get a Canelo Alvarez fight. And you can bet if people are complaining and upset about this fight with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, they're going to be upset. They're going to be upset when that fight happens between Canelo Alvarez and Jake Paul. Boxing community, how do you think that fight plays out between Jake Paul and Iron Mike Tyson? Let me know in the comment section. I think it's all staged and rigged. I think it's going to be a draw. I do believe that it's going to be a draw. That's my final pick. How do you think it plays out? Let me know in the comment section. Hit like if you haven't already done so, because you know how this works out. At least there's some interesting matchups on the undercard. You got Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano going back at it one more time for the rematch. And this is going to be for Katie Taylor's IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO super lightweight titles. This is going to be at 140 pounds. Now, Amanda Serrano, who for a very long time has fought in the 126-pound division, her last fight was, October of 2023 in the featherweight division. She had a very tough full 10-round fight with Daniel Ramos. And was it 10 rounds? I don't remember. I just remember it went the full distance. She moved up to 135 or 136 because she was working her way up to 140 pounds. And she fought last April against Stevie Morgan and got her out of here in 2. She was supposed to have a homecoming fight in Puerto Rico, but that fell apart, I guess, because Amanda Serrano, if I remember correctly, she injured something. Her eye? I don't quite remember. It escapes me. Amanda Serrano is moving up to the 140-pound division to challenge Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor is 38 years old. Amanda Serrano is 36 years old. They both got a lot of wear and tear. Does it say how many rounds this fight is going to be for? Oh, they're going 10 2-minute rounds. Katie Taylor, not a fan of 3-minute rounds like Amanda Serrano is. Katie Taylor recently just got done with back-to-back fights against Chantel Cameron. She lost the first one, and these were both out there in Dublin, Ireland, in front of her people. And folks, that second fight was a majority decision in favor of Katie Taylor. She won the undisputed junior lightweight or junior welterweight, which is 140 pounds, women's world championship with all those 4 belts in the sanctioning body system. And I thought she lost that fight to Chantel Cameron. I believe Chantel Cameron was robbed, y'all. But that's neither here nor there. This isn't an episode about what I thought should have happened between Chantel Cameron and Katie Taylor in this fight. I think it's going to be highly entertaining. The first fight they had was easily the most amazing fight that year, and that happened in 2022. That was fight of the year in 2022, and righteously so. That same night in 2022, I remember watching that fight at Madison Square Garden. It was the first time 2 women athletes had made million-dollar paydays. That's thanks to Jake Paul. Jake Paul's crazy contribution to boxing is putting women on the highest pedestal that it has ever been at. First 2 women to ever headline Madison Square Garden to sell that mug out. And they got paid $1 million in doing so and put on the fight of the year. That same night was the same night they had the Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez fight. And that was a good fight. But play those fights back to back and notice the energy difference of the crowds in those arenas. It doesn't even compare. The energy between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, as far as the crowd at Madison Square Garden, was unbelievable. So, according to the reports online or Boxing Kingdom on YouTube at least, everyone is getting well compensated for this. Katie Taylor is apparently getting paid $6.1 million. Amanda Serrano didn't say what she was getting paid, but she supposedly said she's getting paid more than that. $6 million. That's insane. Iron Mike Tyson is reportedly getting paid $20 million. Jake Paul is getting paid supposedly $40 million. So big round of applause to Jake Paul because he is getting these guys paid. And let me tell you something, folks. Seeing OGs like Roy Jones Jr., Anderson Silva, seeing guys like Iron Mike Tyson in the ring making that kind of money boxing sure beats seeing fighters show up at meet and greets and signing autographs for $20 a piece. You know, you got guys like Iran Barkley or Danny Little Red Lopez who are known for pulling up to events, meet and greets, and I would rather them not have to deal with having to sign autographs. You know, not many people show up to these events except for the small amount of diehard boxing fans or the fans that are in their 40s and 50s that saw them when they were in their primes. Those people, the diehards of that generation, are the ones who pull up to these events. And a lot of times, you'll see other people in the game have to crowdfund help with medical expenses for these fighters. Hey, if there's a method, thanks to social media, to have these old school fighters getting paid tons of money to fight in the ring in exhibition fights, I'm all for it. Let these fighters get paid, y'all. Let these fighters get paid. So, yeah, Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. Let me know how you think that fight plays out. I'm going with Amanda Serrano or Katie Taylor to win by decision again. I think Amanda Serrano is kind of biting off more than she can chew, moving up to 140 pounds. Katie Taylor has been naturally at 135 to 140 a lot longer than Amanda Serrano, who's kind of had to eat her way up to the division. And I just think Katie Taylor is going to win it again. And how do you think that fight plays out? Let me know in the comments section. I want to go over and pivot to the fights that we had this past weekend. Just the big fights that went down. Keyshawn Davis. Ooh, that boy Keyshawn Davis. God damn. That man put the beats. That man put the beats on that man Gustavo Limos. Oh, I did a video on that. I don't even have to talk about that. Check the video I recorded before this. I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis went the full 12-round distance once again with Karen Chukhadzhian. A clear unanimous decision, but this fight was a lot more entertaining than the first time around. Holy crap. Y'all, Karen Chukhadzhian got chunkums. Like, let's give that man Karen Chukhadzhian his credit. Straight up, that fight was highly entertaining. That was the boss level Karen in the ring against Jaron Ennis. The fallout was so fascinating. Jaron Ennis looked almost embarrassed that he didn't get the knockout over Karen Chukhadzhian. Bozy Ennis was in the corner during large stretches of that fight, not giving much technical input. He was just saying, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Then towards the end of the fight, you know, Bozy Ennis kind of changed his tone and said, stay behind your jab, lead with the jab. Jaron Ennis, after feeling out the first few rounds, in which I had Karen Chukhadzhian up after the first 4 rounds, I had Karen Chukhadzhian up 3-1. No doubt. You know, Karen Chukhadzhian could fight. And nonetheless, Jaron Ennis got a knockdown, and there was even a point deduction because Karen had to hold. And it was a clear decision win for Jaron Ennis. A lot of people were taking shots at Jaron Ennis online. American boxing fans, let me tell you something. If you're an American boxing fan, try to see things through an unbiased lens. And I think we're at the point now in American boxing where we are in the beggars can't be choosy position, y'all. There are not enough American champions in the sport of boxing for us to be this divided by race and this divided by promotional platforms, you guys. There's like 64 major belts, 17, weight divisions, 4 belts per sanctioning body or something to that effect. I think we have like 12. I think we have like 12. We're not in a position to be so damn divided in our boxing community. There were people attacking Jaron Ennis' performance. And I'll tell you what, if you were attacking Jaron Ennis for what you saw in his dominant unanimous decision win on Saturday, you are either a PBC stan or you are probably a Terrence Bud Crawford stan. And there's nothing wrong with being fans. But good Lord, give that man Jaron Ennis his just due. It was a fun, entertaining fight. Jaron Ennis kept getting hit clean with a left hook by Karen Chukhadzhian. Ryan Garcia thought it'd be funny to chime in, oh, yo, I'll knock him out. Now, the thing about Karen Chukhadzhian is he has educated feet. He's not quite so flat-footed and sedentary and stationary when throwing his shots like Ryan Garcia is. So obviously, styles make fights. It would be a totally different fight if it was Ryan Garcia as opposed to Karen Chukhadzhian. Would Ryan Garcia land those check hooks or those left hooks? Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. How would they affect a man at 147 pounds or 154 pounds? Because it looks like Jaron Ennis might be interested in moving up to that weight. There are certain reports, according to Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya, that Virgil Ortiz versus Jaron Ennis at 154 is in the works. So Jaron Ennis looked vulnerable, I guess. He was getting hit clean by Karen. But understand, how many fighters in that 147-pound division at the top have that kind of footwork? You got Matthias Stanionis. No, he does not have that kind of footwork. Does Mario Barrios have it? No. Does David Alvanicia? No, he already lost, so we know that's not the case. Does Brian Norman Jr.? Brian Norman Jr. has good feet, but I wouldn't say they're near what Karen Chukhadzhian or Jaron Ennis has. Giovanni Santillan, that's the homie. He's not much of a mover. You know, you got Giasov, not much of a mover. Alexis Rocha. People that move their feet are not that common in boxing. So after this tough 12-round fight that Jaron Ennis was in, then you see Brian Norman Jr. hop on the blogs, hop on with the YouTube content creators, and now he's saying that Brian Norman can beat Jaron Ennis, but not when Brian Norman is offered a career-high payday to fight Jaron Ennis in Philadelphia. No, it's not until after Jaron Ennis looks like he can be vulnerable to getting hit that Brian Norman Sr., but I think the general consensus in the sport of boxing is that Brian Norman Jr. should have taken that damn fight when he first got the offer. Hopefully, after seeing the kind of vulnerability we saw with Jaron Ennis versus Karen Chukhadzhian, it entices perhaps a Brian Norman Jr. to step up. We've got Mario Barrios, who will be making his return to the ring against Abel Ramos on the undercard to that Mike Tyson fight card against Jake Paul that I just mentioned. I don't know why it's Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos is like ranked number 8 in the WBC sanctioning body system. He's, got 6 losses. He's lost to Cody Crowley, Luke Santamaria, Yordanis Ugas, amongst others. Goodness. Who else? Who's my man? Rougarou Regis Prograis. But either way, that's who Mario Barrios is fighting with his WBC welterweight strap. The one that he won when he won the vacant title slot against Yordanis Ugas. So after that, you've got that man, Matthias Stanionis, who has the WBA strap, and he is in talks with Giasov, but apparently the PBC got in touch with Eddie Hearn after that recent performance of Jaron Ennis, and then they said, you know what, Giasov, we'll take some step-aside money here. We can arrange Matthias Stanionis versus that man Jaron Ennis. They already tried to tap the shoulder of Matthias Stanionis versus Jaron Ennis when they were fighting on the same platform when they were under the Showtime PBC umbrella. Welcome to the politics of boxing, folks. It gets fascinating. A lot of chess moves, a lot of handshakes going on, so pay attention to the happenings. I don't know what's going on with Cody Crowley. Originally, the fight between Karen Chukhadzhian and Jaron Ennis was supposed to be involving Cody Crowley. Is Cody Crowley even still in the picture? What happened to Cody Crowley? So, I don't know. You got Brian Norman Jr. with the WBO. You got Mario Barrios with the WBC. And Matthias Stanionis with the WBA. And then Eddie Hearn talking about Virgil Ortiz Jr. And then in the post-fight press conference, Philadelphia's own, based out of Los Angeles, fighting under Freddie Roach, Blair the Flair Cobb stepped up and said, hey, I want that smoke too. It could be a fun little battle for Philadelphia. I would not mind seeing Blair the Flair Cobbs step in there with Jaron Ennis. Anyways, boxing community, what did you think about Jaron Ennis' performance against Karen Chukhadzhian? Is the criticism justified? Is Jaron Boots Ennis looking like food? Let me know in the comment section what you think, y'all. Let's chop this one up. And then, of course, you had your man. Goodness, Bam Rodriguez. What does one say about that man? A phenom. A phenom. He got the most ridiculous third round stoppage over Pedro Guevara, and he was pretty much beating him from pillar to post from the onset. He knocked him down in the third, and then he came back around and did this cut and angle thing, knockout with the lead uppercut. Beautiful. Beautiful. Like, the technical difficulty of what Bam Rodriguez did against Pedro Guevara in that fight is almost unfathomable. But, yo, hats off to that man. Excuse me. Bam Rodriguez, he is definitely in the top 10 pound for pound discussion. Arguably one of the most talented fighters in the entire country. He's right up there with Terrence Bud Crawford. He is right up there with the Alexander Usyks of the world. You better give that man, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, his credit. Sarissa Sommervisa, Carlos Cuadras, Juan Francisco Estrada, Sonny Edwards. It's just ridiculous. That man, Bam Rodriguez, I can't wait to see what he does next. He's got the WBC belt. The IBF is currently vacant. The WBA, Fernando Martinez, he's undefeated, a heavy hitter from Argentina. He called out Bam Rodriguez. I would love to see that fight. I don't know if casual boxing fans are interested in that fight. Most casual boxing fans want to see Bam Rodriguez in there with either Junto Nakatani or another person who is way more divisions up than Junto. That man, Naoya Inoue. So I'm not sure if Jesse Bam Rodriguez is ready for Naoya Inoue, but I would love to see a fight between him and Junto Nakatani. There's also Fulele Kafu of the WBO. Now, let me tell you on a personal note, Chiconito Hernandez, the guy Floyd Mayweather fought to become a champion, has a brother named Rudy Hernandez out there in Los Angeles, and that is the coach of Junto Nakatani and Alex Olesquaga. And I'm telling you right now, Rudy Hernandez told me that he's been trying to get Robert Garcia to agree to try to match up Junto Nakatani with Bam Rodriguez for a while, and Robert Garcia seems very hesitant to line up seems very hesitant to put Bam Rodriguez in there with Junto Nakatani. I would love to see that fight. Two southpaws, both of them with phenomenal amounts of technical skill and knockout power. I would be down to see that fight. I want to see Junto Nakatani versus Bam next, or Junto versus Fernando Martinez. Bam versus Fernando Martinez. Boxing community, for those of you that saw Bam Rodriguez's performance this past Saturday, what did you think? Shoot, was your mind blown like mine was? Who does Bam Rodriguez fight next? Let me know in the comment section, y'all. Either way, I'm going to end the video with that one. I'm going to try to make another video after this in regards to Riyadh season, Latin night. We got Gilberto Ramirez fighting Chris Billiam Smith and a slew of other Golden Boy fighters fighting a bunch of entertaining matchups. But I'm going to end the video with that. And until I see y'all next time, this is Hot Boxing Minute. Peace.